that being said, we have just seen one of the biggest spikes we have come across in the last few months. YECO. This stock just spiked all the way from 170 upwards of 1325. That is a massive, massive run, a massive spike. And just think about all the possibilities. My mind goes racing when I think about how much money people can make on this play. If you have an account that's only $2,000 and you got in right around the $2 mark, dollars today, just from a $2,000 account. That is absolutely insane. The amount of profit you guys can make, the amount of profit you can see, just on a $2,000 account. And that's why I love penny stocks. That's why I love trading these quick movers, these low floats, these big runners, simply enough because you get these massive rips, you get these massive runs, you get these massive climbs. It's not like Apple's going to be running 700% on the day. If Apple ran 700% on the day, the world would lose their mind, right? It's just not going to happen. And that's why I love focusing on these little penny stocks, because they do run a 500 before it was up 700% on the day. CADC up 102% on the day. That was up around 200% on the day. You are going to get such a big return on your investments when trading these stocks. I want to go over from start to finish why YECO broke out, how we could understand or how we can see in the future if YEC is going to, or stocks like YECO are going to break out. How can we find other ones like this? And with that being said, we have to talk about YECO, and let's break down this play and talk about what's going on with what could come up this afternoon, what could come up tomorrow, what could come up next week on YECO or some other place. So right now, let's break this down. Let's talk about each one of these little parts of YECO and understand why the stock's going on a nice rip. Now, let's take it back to our credibility. Why do stocks go on climbs? Why do stocks go on rips? Why do stocks go on pop? We already know this. This is two different reasons, correct? Two different reasons on why stocks get these big time rips, and that is either because of press releases or chart pattern. Press releases or chart pattern. So when we look at YECO, what can we see here? YECO. We can look at 6 hours ago. It came out with an acquisition. Well, we have two press releases. One just came out 7 minutes ago, so this is an updated one. But let's look at the first one, the acquisition one. And that is, we have our complete Millennium Sapphire acquisition. Okay. And what we have is announced on August 22nd, 2018, it has signed a sale and purchase agreement to acquire $50 million worth of this company. The acquisition was acquired via the insurance of 25 million YECO restricted sales at the price of $2 per share. So they're acquiring part of this company, but they're not getting like $50 million in cash. They're getting it by acquiring 25 million at the price of $2 per share. So they're getting shares out of it. Now this could definitely lead towards the pop, the big time spike. It's definitely a factor that brought in a lot of the big time ripping today. I don't think it was the only reason on why the stock ran, and I think there's more towards it. But let's kind of dive into this a little bit more. And what can we see? The CEO, something he says right here: we are extremely pleased, and that's always a great thing. I don't even need to read the rest of this if we don't want to for a second. Let's just cross that off for a second. If I see a CEO say we are extremely pleased, I am extremely excited. I'm extremely humbled. I'm extremely grateful. I'm extremely anything, on the positive side like this. That's going to make investors happy. When we have a stock that is ripping and a stock that is spiking, and we have a press release that says the CEO is extremely happy at this moment, a CEO is going to be happy when what? When something works out in his favor, or when they, lock in an acquisition or a big partnership, or maybe have great drug trials, something like that. So when a CEO is happy, guess what? Investors are going to be happy. It's not like, a CEO is like, "Oh, I'm disappointed. This is not what we wanted. This is not what we wanted to look at." And then you're just like, "Yeah, woohoo!" Like, unless you're shorting it, maybe. But, usually we're extremely pleased. Hey, guys, CEO is extremely pleased. That means, the company's doing well. Watch for a lot of buyers. So that definitely helps out. Just that word alone. But what was he pleased about? To completed the purchase of the undervalued world-class assets for $50 million. So, that's what's bringing in a lot of hype. Now, we just went on about $11 spike. We're on this massive run, this massive move right here. Let's see what just came out 7 minutes ago. So what came out 7 minutes ago on this? We have this stock rockets more than sevenfold after closing Sapphire deal, which we just went over. So we have this stock is up 606% on extremely heavy volume to a pace of Nasdaq gainers after the eco-friendly building products, construction, and waste management companies that had completed the $50 million purchase of the Millennium Sapphire. Volume swelled to 26.9 million shares compared to the average of 43,000. Yeesh. That is crazy. Like, look at this. We have our average volume, 66,000 shares. That's the average volume, 66,000. That could be like a total, if you want to break that down, to maybe like 50 people. And imagine if, you have like 50 people, they all buy somewhere around like 1,200 shares or something like that. You know, eh, that could just be about 50 people. That could be less than 50 people. That could be 20 people, technically, and who usually trade the stock a day. We are seeing today 27 million shares be traded on this over, again, 66,000. So that is a giant increase on this play. And that is a giant increase on this stock of all these people, moving in on this play. But I said earlier what? I said I don't think this is the only reason why the stock's running on this, on up 600%. An acquisition is great. An acquisition is awesome. But at the same time, I think there's more to this. What would be the reasons that are more than this? There's a couple things I could see right off the bat. Number one, YEC has float. Float right here, 2 million. Noticed, what do we always look for? The lower the float, the bigger the spike. When you have low float stocks, you see big time moves. Some people criticize low float plays. And to them, I say pish posh. Okay? Low float stocks are something I'm always going to play. They're going to be something I'm always going to trade. There's something I'm always going to look for. Because the lower the float, the bigger the spike can be. And that's how we see our supernovas. It doesn't matter if it's YECO. It doesn't matter if it's AWSM. It doesn't matter if it is ALT. It doesn't matter if it's SAEX. It doesn't matter if it's RKDA, right here. It doesn't matter if it's DXR. All these plays are going to be on the lower float side. Doesn't matter if it's CADC today. It doesn't matter, again, going through these, YECO. It doesn't matter if it's CCCL. It doesn't matter if it's IMTE. These are the lowest float stocks. And guess what? They're the ones that are ripping the most. We always look for low float plays. I put all the low float plays in dark blue, so you know exactly what to look for. Notice a lot of the top gaining plays are in dark blue because they have a lower float. Float are the shares offered to the public. When you have a low float and a high demand, you get a very big spike. I always give the example, like, think of it as like big, like Black Friday. You think about it as it's a Black Friday. I think about like there's 1,000 parents outside all promise their kid an Xbox, right? But there's only 100 Xboxes. So there's 1,000 people, out there ready to go to war to get 100 Xboxes, right? So right when those doors open, 900 people aren't getting Xboxes, and they could have promised their son, they're getting an Xbox. And you know what they're gonna do? It's gonna turn into chaos. It's gonna be madness. It's gonna be insane. What else could Best Buy do at this point? They could hike up the price because there's extremely high demand. Maybe Xboxes go for $100. They're like, wait a minute, we only have 100 of these. There's 1,000 people who wants it. Let's sell it to the highest bidder. Hey, who wants this for $200? Ah, who wants this for $300? Maybe a little later. Ah, who wants this for $500? And then who wants this for like $800? And there's that one guy. Woo! I'll take it. Just me. He wants, all right, get it up here. And that's what happens with the low float. The lower the float, the higher the demand, the bigger the spike until no one's willing to pay that price anymore, right? It turns into chaos. It's chaos. Everyone wants shares at the lowest price. Now there's limited amount of shares. They're going to cost more. So people are willing to pay until it gets up to what? 13.25, and that was kind of the limit right now until it's dropping back on down towards around 9.96, right? So that's kind of the limit we saw. So when I look for low float plays, these are the ones that are going to go on the biggest rips in the quickest manner. Now, the reason they get a bad rap, the reason that some people don't like them too much, the reason they may get criticized every now and then, is because low floats are also the ones that become a lot more towards the pumpy and dumpy side. They are the ones that become a little bit more manipulated. But hey, this is the penny stock market. There's going to be pump and dumps. There's going to be manipulation. You just have to find, again, the credible plays and stick to the credible plays. YECO, again, it's a low float stock that came out with a great press release towards it. There's good credibility towards it. This is what you want to focus on. Not everything is going to be pitch perfect in every way. You're going to have to avoid bad things and, stick with the good things, right? It's like, again, driving a car. Is there going to be maniac drivers that are going to be whipping through red lights, driving through stop signs, and just causing accidents every now and then? Yes, there's going to be, again, bad drivers, but the majority of people are going to follow the law. It's a YECO right here. This is a nice low float stock going on a nice rip on a credible reasoning. It's great to see. Now, is this high? Is it really up there? Could the stock have a fall back on down? Yes. Again, the stock is extremely overbought now as it just ran $11. But at the same time, you know what? At the same time, it was an awesome play. Lots of traders banked on it, and it was just so exciting to see. Now, what else about YECO can we say was a reason on why this ran? And we already talked about it a little bit this morning. This was a masterpiece chart pattern. A masterpiece chart pattern. We already went over a few different examples on this, and FLKS. This was a nice masterpiece pattern. What is a masterpiece pattern? We went over this. First thing we look for is A, a low float. Awesome. B, the next thing we look for is a previous spike. A previous spike is going to show us that the stock can go on a nice rip. The previous spike is going to show us that this stock has a past chart history of spiking. Why does that matter? Because if it's spiked in the past, it could spike again in the future. That's how we judge everything, basically of its past, right? That's how we judge, athletes. Oh, why is Tom Brady such a great quarterback? Because he has a lot of Super Bowl rings. If you guys are playing fantasy football, let's say, why are you drafting, Ezekiel Elliott? Why are you drafting, Brown as your first picks? If you guys know what the heck I'm talking about, because they have great past seasons of, points and putting up, a lot of great statistics. It's the same exact thing when it comes down to stocks. And when it comes down to stocks, we have great past charts, great past stocks that once they start, spiking again, people get very excited. They say, "Wow, that spiked like that in the past. It's going to spike like that again in the future." So we would much rather play a stock that has big time rips, big time spikes, big time breakouts, and supernovas in the past, rather than a stock that's never spiked before. So FLKS, first step of the masterpiece pattern, is a nice big rip. Then what happens? You want to drop off and get very low. That brings the low RSI down, or excuse me, that brings the RSI down, that relative strength index below a 30. We are going to have a lot of sellers. We're not going to have too many buyers right now. We want this thing as low as possible. Then after that, what do we want to move to? We want to move to consolidation. We find support. There's not really any buyers. There's not really any sellers. It's just basically the stock sitting there. Maybe a little bit of buying and selling, but not really too much. Nothing to really dramatically affect the stock. And it moves sideways for a few months. That's the consolidation phase. And then what do we look for? Higher lows on a squeeze pattern between the 50-day moving average and the 13 EMA. Squeezing is going to bring in volume towards it. It's going to start getting a little bit of a popping on a higher low pattern until it breaks resistance. And then what happens? We get our nice breakout. FLKS, that's how we made money on FLKS. It went from 52 cents, ripped all the way up to $1.50. Past chart rip, low float stock, fell again for a few months after its breakout, consolidated, got squeezed, got the nice break, got the nice rip and run. Beautiful. What else did we have? EARS. EARS, guys. This stock, past chart spike. Past chart spike shows that the stock can move. It fell from its spike, dumped on off, low on the RSI, consolidated, wait for the 50-day moving average and 13 EMA to squeeze the stock, built higher lows. The stock, started bringing in activity again because it got squeezed. And again, from that squeeze, you got the nice rip all the way up to $2. You guys are starting to notice this pattern now. All right, awesome. Now let's look at YECO. YECO. We look back at this pattern, and I know it's hard to see because this stock has a giant rip up here now. But what did we have before? Right here, before this giant rip came through, we got a nice rip, $2 all the way up to $6.50. Very nice rip. The stock fell for a few months, consolidated, 13 EMA at the bottom, 50-day moving average coming across the top, squeezing this play. News comes out, buying volume's already there, and bada boom, you are ready to rock and roll. So again, I can make it a little bit bigger for you guys so you guys can see this as well. Big rip right here, starts falling, consolidate, squeeze pattern right at the tip of the triangle, buying volume, bada boom, and with the big press release is going to help that stock really take on off. That's really going to make that stock go on a nice move. So that's, also helping out this play. So this stock is a low float stock with a masterpiece pattern and acquisition news. So that's why this thing went on such a big rip. That's why this thing went on such a big climb. What else has helped this play? What else has helped this play? What else has made YECO go on a very nice pop. The fact that nothing else is really popping off this morning helped YECO also go on a nice move. And I'm trying to let's go back to like a 1 minute time frame right here. And if we scroll back to a 1 minute time frame, we can see that this morning we didn't really have too much going on, right? This morning there wasn't really too much action. We saw YECO go from within the first minute, it went from around 180 where it opened, shot up to 250, and then dropped all the way back down to 180. Then out of all our top gainers, nothing was really going on. It was pretty boring. And we were kind of saying, hey guys, today's a pretty slow day, right? This morning, literally about 5 hours ago, we were saying, hey, this is a kind of a slow day. YECO wasn't doing too much. VTVT was trying to, make a little bit of a move. We were keeping our eyes on SLS a little bit. And then what started going on? YECO started picking on up. Now, what was the reason why YECO started picking on up? Why did traders say, hey, YECO, this is starting to pick on up? Because it started creeping its way back up to $2 right when it broke through 250. Right when this broke through 250, I don't want to make this a little bigger. Hopefully, it blows up the chart for us a little bit. So you can see initial rip up to, again, that 250 mark, came back on down. Right when it broke through the high of the day at 250, that's when every trader started seeing it pop up on the high of the day momentum scanner. It's not even going to let us go back down that far because of how many high of the days have popped up on this. How many high of the days have YECO had? 393, 400 right here. Here we go, 472, 500 so far. I think here we go. Nope, 560. Like, yeah, so many high the days. We haven't seen so many giant rips on that play. So it all started though right at the break of 250. Why did it start at the break of 250? Well, imagine this. Imagine there's 100 people in the stock market. At the bell, everyone's looking for a play today. Maybe we got 25 people go to YECO. Maybe we got 25 people go to VTVT. Maybe we got 15 people go to SLS. Maybe we have 10 people go to stock ABC, and maybe we have, 5 other people go to another stock, right? And nothing really happens, so everyone kind of gets out of their play. People get out of YCO, people get out of SLS, people get out of VTV, people get out of this, people get out of that, and then everyone's just kind of sitting back. Everyone's just sitting on their computer, looking to see what's going to happen on next. What's going to be that next rip? What's going to be that next climb? And then out of nowhere, all of a sudden you see on your high of the day momentum scanner, this morning, all of a sudden you see YECO. We see 2 million in float stock breaking a new high. You haven't played anything yet today. Or, maybe you had a quick little trade in the morning, but you've been sitting around for the last 45 minutes. So if we have 100 people, and now let's say 95 of them have been sitting around for the next 45 minutes, and we start seeing a low float stock start breaking a high and start going from 250 to $3, out of 100 people, probably 95 of them are going to start flooding over towards YECO. And why is that? Because there's nothing going on. And traders, and because I'm a trader, because I know, and you're a trader, and when we're here and we're trading and we want to make money, what's our main mindset? It's not, oh, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to sit back and let everything pass me by. The majority of traders are going to say, hey, if I see something ripping, I'm going to buy it. Right now, there is, that level of, being disciplined. You guys know I'm very conservative with my trading, but a lot of people aren't. And a lot of people say, oh, wow, this stock's running 25 cents, I'm buying. Oh, wow, this stock's running 50 cents, I'm buying. Oh, wow, this stock is running $1, I'm buying. Oh, wow, this thing is running $3, I'm buying. Right? And then it gets out of hand. And that's where things get a little bit crazy. So nothing's going on this morning. 95 out of 100 people, hypothetically, are again sitting around doing nothing. Out of nowhere, we see what? We see YECO, boom, pop up at, what price would this be? 250, 275, and everyone's like, okay, what's going on over here? The people who are like, hey, I haven't done anything yet today. YECO's ripping. I'm going to buy that one. So you know what happens? What do we start seeing? Fred buys it. Sean buys it. John buys it. Taylor buys it. Mark buys it. And you know what happens? Every time someone buys it, the stock starts getting higher and higher and higher. So now the stock goes from $2 all the way up towards around 370. Again, what moves up stocks? People move up stocks. Simple as that. The only reason stocks climb is because people buy them. So all it is right now is, hey, Fred saw it, he bought it. He bought it, it popped up a little higher on the high of the day momentum scanner. Then Taylor bought it and because she saw Fred buy it, and that one popped up a little higher. And this guy goes, well, I don't want to miss out, I'll buy it. And this guy says, well, it's moving up, I'll buy it. And it buys, and then what happens? Now again, it starts breaking some highs, and now more people start buying it. And now more people start buying it. And now more people feel like they're missing out, and more people start buying it. And more people 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 until it just turns into this absolute mayhem. That's what really got this thing going was just momentum. What really got people into this play today is the fact of emotions of them saying, "I can't believe I'm missing out on this play. I'm buying into it." And then once that person bought into it, it moves up a little higher. And then someone else out there in the world said, "I can't believe I'm missing out on the Supernova. It's gone from $2 to $10. I'm buying into it." And then it moves up a little bit higher. And then you think about it, out of let's say 100 people, if there are 100 people in the market, 98 of people doing that, saying, "I'm buying it, I'm buying it, I'm buying it." Guess what happens? It just explodes from there. And that's what happens in the penny stock market, as it's just a straight momentum move. It's all momentum. And as long as buyers stay in full control, guess what? It's going to continue to move on up. And every time it comes up to a high of the day, guess what? Traders are going to be very excited to trade this because they're saying, every time it comes up to the high of the day now, they're saying, "Well, back at the high of the day, we know at the high of the day this thing gets crazy. We know at the high of the day this thing is going to be going wild." And we start seeing this thing start popping on off because more people are saying, "Well, I don't want to miss my chance." So they start going at it, going at it, going at it. Now, why ECO? How high is this thing going to go up to? How high can this climb up to? There is no price I can say right now. There's no price I can give you right now that's going to be 100%. That I'm going to say, guys, YECO is going to get up to 1382 and it will not go a penny higher. It's not about that. What you have to understand, it's until basically buyers give up, until the majority of buyers turn into sellers. Most likely, YECO is going to be able to hold a lot of these gains until tomorrow. But in the next day or two, this is where we're going to see our dramatic drop. YECO is not going to be able to hold this. It's not. If you're saying, "Deck, I bought in at 1120 and I'm going to sell 6 months from now, how much and you're just like, "Yeah, so like what island do you want to go to? I'll purchase you a free trip." And I'm like, you're probably going to be like looking up brochures or maybe selling brochures at that point because it's going to be all the way back down towards like $1.30, right? Like you don't want to like hold this for like 6 months or something like that. With that being said, look at every single spike we have. Every single supernova, if it's ALT, we had 2 massive days of ripping, and then we went all the way back down to the bottom. Okay? Or if it's SAEX, again, ALT ran $30, SAEX ran $20, and it went all the way back down to the bottom. And then RKDA right here, this stock ran $60 in the matter of about 3 days. But guess what? It went all the way back down to the bottom. There is going to be a dramatic crash. There is going to be a very hard crash, just like every supernova will have. So you need to understand this is not, a long-term play. This is not a play that's going to hold up. This is a play that's going to turn, it's going to dump, and it's going to probably be pretty violent when it does. But that's when what happens. Why does that happen? Because the same John and Mark and you and I and this guy and whoever's in on this play right now, they're eventually going to want to take their profit. And if he takes their profit and they see the stock go a little bit lower, that may scare that guy who's going to take his profit, who may scare that guy who's going to take his profit. And now the stock is falling pretty rapidly. And now this person's saying, "I got to get out right now. This thing is falling apart." Now that guy takes his money out, and this guy, and the whole thing collapses, right? Acquisition news is great. A masterpiece pattern is great. A low float is great. But it's not 750% in the matter of 2 hours great, right? There's a difference there. Now, how long can this last for, though? I would probably say, we're going to give it to the rest of the week. Right now it is currently Wednesday. We got big potential for a possible gap up overnight. We have potential for this thing to run all the way up to $15, $20 tomorrow. That's not any crazy talk right there. Being, whoa, 15 to $20. That's not crazy talk. This thing went from $2 all the way up to 13. We could easily see this thing gap up tomorrow, maybe up towards around $15, $16, early morning spike to $20, and then maybe start seeing some selling from there. It's possible, for sure. The other option that we could be seeing today is what? YECA may close off, or YECO may close off right around $10. And it's possible that we wake up tomorrow and this thing is down towards around $5. And you can't say, "Why is it all the way down to $5? Why did this thing crash?" You still got to think this stock still ran from $2 to $5. You need to understand that $2 to $5 move is still an awesome move for that play. That's a great stock. If the stock went from $2 to $5 and closed at $5, people would say, "Wow, that was a very solid day for this stock. That was a great rip." Right now, this is astronomical. This is huge. This is big. This is seeing something that happens every now and then. But I love it, and we see it, and this is the type of day that would change your account. And this is the type of opportunity I want you guys to be ready for. And these are the type of stocks that I want you guys to be able to study and you guys to be able to nail, because this can change your account, and not only change your account, these type of plays can change your life. YECO, again, going from $2 all the way up to $13. The $2,000 account today could have made upwards around $11,000 in the matter of about 3 to 4 hours. If you had a larger account, a $10,000 account, a $20,000 account, a $50,000 account, you buy 10,000 shares, this stock goes on this run, you're making $110,000 in the matter of about 4 hours. It's insane. Now, again, that is, talking about buying larger shares and holding it perfectly. I understand that. But it is possible. And people are making that sort of money on these plays. And that's why I love the penny stock market so much. And that's why I love day trading, because you don't get these type of moves anywhere else. You don't get YECO type of moves anywhere else. You don't get ALT type of moves anywhere else. You don't get AWSM type of moves anywhere else. You don't get SAEX type of moves anywhere else. And we see these, a good amount. We probably get, we had about 4 supernovas last month. So far in October, we had about 2 supernovas. We had a smaller supernova, kind of more of just like an extended breakout, I would guess you would say, in October early. VTVT went from 75 cents up to $6. Again, account changing, life changing. You guys have to be ready. You have to know these patterns. You have to know what to look for, these breakout setups. And I just get so fired up because I want every single trader to make money. You guys are taking time out of your day to listen to my voice right now, taking time to watch this video, taking time to learn how to become a better trader. I want you guys to get the education and the knowledge you need to be successful. So when you guys are seeing these breakouts, understand, maybe what, figure out what's pushing them. Figure out what's going on with them. Figure out what's the credibility towards them. Now, a lot of people are saying, okay, how can I actually play these? Now, a lot of it playing it is the trickiest part. A lot of us have found these plays. A lot of these stocks have, gone on nice big rips. The toughest part sometimes is doing what? Just pressing that buy button, right? How hard is it? Sometimes you have to press that just press that buy button. And when you press that buy button, it's like, hey, I'm going into, the war right now. Because you look at the level 2 sometimes, and especially when these stocks are ripping, the level 2's flying. You may have a little bit of a bigger spread as well, and you may enter at a little bit of higher up, and if it turns, it could definitely, hurt you. That's where, again, it comes down to a little bit more of an experienced trader. I don't suggest someone who hasn't traded before to trade YECO. I don't suggest someone who has limited experience, who has only been paper trading, to trade YECO. If you guys are beginners, maybe, again, paper trade YECO and see how you do. But I don't want someone who's never traded before hopping on YECO. And why is that? Because you can lose your account very quickly. If you put a lot of money into YECO and you're saying, hey, Dek, I was thinking about holding this for a week straight, or you hop in on it, let's say now at 11:40, by the end of this lesson, in the next few minutes or so, let's say you buy right now at 11:40, let's see where you're at. You could be up a ton of money, you could be down a ton of money. And this is when it's a little bit slower. This is even when the stock's moving very fast, right? This is a slow type of, move right now. And a lot of times you're not going to be able to handle those emotions. Oh, I just bought at 11:40. Right now it's at 11:12. Oh, I got to get out, right now, or maybe I can hold a little bit longer. Okay, okay, now it's up at 11:20. Bids are at 11:04. So I mean, you got to really know what you're doing on these type of plays. A lot of it is running with momentum. A lot of it is playing trend lines. A lot of it is knowing support and knowing resistance. But I could not be more happy for, again, the traders that were able to make some big time bank today, lock in some big time profits. And, I am just so excited for all the traders that, absolutely crushed it today. Now, with YECO, we're not even done yet. As I said, we still got about 2 more days, I would say, of YECO. We have definitely big potential for tomorrow. Gap up, we could be seeing all the way up to $20. Gap down, we could be seeing the stock, possibly drop, or if it does a U-shaped breakout pattern, possibly run all the way back up towards around wherever it closes. In this case, right now, it'd be around 11:26. So we got a lot to talk about this afternoon to see how the stock closes off. But I wanted to go over the reasoning behind this, the credibility behind this, and on top of that, guys, Just seeing you guys bank from this. Again, quick profits: 164, 83, $1,100, $900, 472, $1,795, 533, $1,600, 133, $300, 115, 600, 480. $800 right here, 106. Guys, it just keeps going. So I mean, you guys absolutely deserve the profits you guys made, and I'm absolutely so pumped, so excited, and I look forward to what the rest of this week brings. We'll keep you guys updated on the rest of the week, of course. But with that being said, if you guys have any questions, please let me know. YECO, what an awesome play, hitting highs of 700%. It's days like these that we absolutely love. So guys, let's get ready for the next one and the continuation of here, and let's nail it.